sometimes when we go about our life and we're doing about things, we forget to take a break, just stop and just recharge and refuel.
Yeah, 100%. We're discussing recharging, as you rightly said. And it's that time of the year, we're in the ninth month now, and it's that time of the year where a lot of people are starting to feel, a bit fatigued. And you know what? Added to that, we're going towards 2 years since COVID-19, and a lot of people are struggling in terms of having the energy to keep going and keep striving. In athletics, you have races, whether it's 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. But for a lot of people, it hasn't been just a normal race. It's been a race filled with hurdles. And hurdles require more and more energy. They take more and more from you. And fatigue is setting in. And so I believe it's important that we think and talk about recharging if we're going to combat this fatigue and achieve the things that we want to achieve. And here are a few things we need to think about and implement in order to recharge. Number one, we must remember our why. So remember your why. Whenever you get tired, you have to remember the purpose for what you're doing. Maybe you are an entrepreneur and you have a dream of breaking the cycle of poverty in your family. Maybe you are a parent and you're working hard to give your kids a better life than you had. Maybe you are a social worker and you have the desire to make your community better and stronger. When you remind yourself of the purpose, the why for what you're doing, that can help you recharge. It can give you new strength and new energy to help keep you going. So, number one, remember your why. Number two, reconnect to the charging point. Most of us have devices, whether it's a cell phone, laptop, and so forth. And when you use it for a while, eventually the battery goes flat. So it's normal to get tired. It's normal to experience fatigue once in a while. And when our devices batteries get flat, we simply reconnect them to the charging point. So as people, we need to reconnect to our spiritual power source. There's a verse I love in the book of Matthew that says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." So God wants to give you rest and help you to recharge. B, we need to reconnect with people who help us, to recharge. This could be mentors, this could be friends and family, colleagues who inspire us and keep us encouraged. It's important that we make time to reconnect with such people and allow them to speak positively into our lives because they help in terms of recharging us as well. Number three, we must re-strategize to minimize fatigue. Re-strategize to minimize fatigue. We also need to ask ourselves why we've been feeling so tired and fatigued. Are we overloading and overworking ourselves? Are we not setting aside enough time for rest? What can we change about the way we do things in order to minimize the fatigue? Are there things that we should perhaps be saying no to? Are there some responsibility that we should allow other people to take care of? Should we be delegating more? What are the boundaries that we can create in our lives that can help shield us from becoming so fatigued? We can we create boundaries perhaps around our time? Is there should we set aside time and say between this hour and this hour, I'm not taking any calls, I'm not entertaining anybody. It's time for me and my family, or it's my me time. Are we creating boundaries around our space, and so forth? So we need to come up with strategies that can help us to combat the fatigue. Number four, we need to reprioritize rest. In times such as these where there is so much disruption, we often feel like there is no downtime, and we may even feel guilty about taking some time out to rest. There is so much to do, so much to build, so much to think about, and resting has, in many of our lives, taken a back seat. But it's important for us to reprioritize rest. If you can, take a small vacation or send the kids to the grandparents for the weekend and just sit and have time to yourself. Set aside time for rest and reflection. Many people tend to quit when they get tired, but what we should be doing is rest. So just to recap, we say that in order to recharge, you must, number one, remember your why. Number two, reconnect to the charging point. Number three, re-strategize to minimize fatigue. And number four, reprioritize rest.
Well, thank you so much, Conference. And I think that is very important, and I like what you said there at the end, that a lot of people, when they are tired, they quit instead of resting.
Yeah, it's important. A lot of people are quitting on their businesses, quitting on relationships, quitting on some are quitting on their lives. The suicide rate, the stats tell us that has gone up in this period. So a lot of people get to the point where they're so fatigued, so tired, and they feel the only option is to take their own lives. But when you get tired, don't quit on life, don't quit on that business, don't quit on the thing that you've been given to do. Rather rest so that you can recharge and come back much stronger, much better, much bigger.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Confidence, and of course we are with you again next week. Thank you for those important words.
100%. Thank you so much, too. Appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you. So that was Confidence.